Optimist. Any and everything is possible. I'm hopeful that the sun will rise, the rainbow will come out, and anything will happen.
Years ago, 2 years ago.
Man, I wouldn't particularly say I identify with any one of those, but if I were to really analyze it, probably more towards optimist.
I think basically an optimist, but you know, you have those demons that try and pull you away from your optimism and make yourself think you're not good enough, or you know, and you can get very cynical at times. But basically, I think I'm an optimist. I mean, I have good aspirations and all that stuff.
I mean, I think at times I'm all of those things, but most of the time a realist, because I don't like to prejudge anybody or, you know, a particular situation ahead of time. You know, I try and approach things, I think, realistically, and, you know, judge people in situations for in the moment instead of having predetermined thoughts about it.
I definitely consider myself as an optimist, especially on a beautiful day like this. And you couldn't ask for a better time because you're like on a perfect spot right next to the sun and the flowers, and it's amazing. And I'm having one of those New York days when you feel that everything is great, and even though your apartment might suck, you still have the beauty of New York, and that's just the way I want to live my life, being happy all the time.
Yeah, being around a lot of non-optimistic people, I guess a lot of pessimistic people in my life, so their concentration of pessimism led to my optimism.
Well, I think choosing the way to perceive life is a choice that every human has. And I believe there's a choice to see darkness or see a balance of the both, which I can see a balance, which is more like a realist, but I prefer to choose light. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll choose light over darkness any day of the week. Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
It's good to see things in that way. People don't always, you know, and then negative things happen and they assume that this is the way it just goes, but it doesn't always have to be that way.
Absolutely.
You know?
I think my mom. I mean, my mom is just a huge optimist, tremendous optimist, and she always believes that things will work out for the better. And I think I've sort of maybe drawn from that. Maybe I've inherited that characteristic. You know, she got cancer very badly, and she believed she was going to get through it, and she was optimistic the whole way, even though it was a very serious diagnosis. And I mean, she's been in remission now for years.
I think living in New York in general, you have a bunch of different kinds of people that are easy to judge. You know, like it's easy to judge a book by its cover here in New York. But if you learn to be a little bit patient, which I'm usually not, you know, you find out that not everybody is what they may seem. But you're definitely standing in the right place for that kind of experiment. You know, so yeah, that's living in New York. You either have thick skin or thin skin, and if you don't have thick skin, you tend to, I think, be cynical of things, you know, so.
Well, I think we go through ups and downs. I think there are times where, you know, you do feel like life sucks, but, you know, you just have to know that life is a balance and there's lots of ups and downs, and, you know, it's always about how you put yourself out there and how you want to be happy. I remember that.
Realist, absolutely. I was an optimist. When one is young, one tends to be. Look at the Romantics and how conservative those that survived became, and how many movements, as people get older, they see more and they absorb it differently. And the world looks different. Besides, I'm already in my third life, so I suspect that having survived a coma, 7 weeks in the hospital with complications, and then showing up with a new heart problem and having a stroke 5 years later surprises everyone when they meet me. This is a realistic way for me to approach the world. I came out today and I didn't feel well because there was an ozone alert. And I'm walking 3 miles a day because despite what happened to me 16 and 11 years ago, The reason I'm still in good shape is because I just push it through. You know, I push through everything and I push on. And I feel really good about it.
I'm an optimist person. I consider that a gift of nature. I was born very positive, and I have no idea of being negative except for circumstance. You know, sometimes you have to cope with it, but generally my personality, my character is just being very positive, and I'm very glad to be that way because I guess you live longer and healthier. It's all in your mind, right? You know, I would say there is no need to be negative in life. I mean, it's a short life after all. You know, people underestimate their timing. You know, we're here temporarily, so make the best of it. You know, I would say that's the best way to be. And if you're not, try to, I guess, or learn, trying to find some ways.
So I choose to identify as an optimist, and it's easy to think the worst of people. It's easy to think the worst of the world and of people's tendencies and situations. You know, through time we will all go through things and we'll all be challenged in many ways, but I don't know how I would have gotten through life the way that I have if I wasn't optimistic, if I didn't really believe that I had the ability to overcome and to transcend these situations that at the time were really horrendous, you know. And what has led me to have that particular perspective is just really has been time, has been realization, as well as the people that I've come across and the books that I've read have really made me realize that reality is what you make it. And you know, I choose to believe in a positive world. I choose to believe in a world where people are good, where one can achieve things that they dream of, where one should dream, because that's the kind of world that I want to create for myself. If I believe otherwise, if I believe the worst, that's exactly what I will attract. So by thinking positively, I hope to create a more positive world for myself as well as for others.
My friend.
Yeah!
That was awesome.
I don't use any of those terms for myself, so because in a way I've been trying to find out what reality is about, and you know, you can't really find reality, so there's no reality in that. And when there's no reality, of course, there's nothing to be optimistic about. You know what I mean? So, so that's why I don't think in those terms. That's my answer to the question.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Like, what is reality? And that's the question, not that I don't want to ask, but I think people should think about when they say I'm a realist, like, what is reality? You know, if you believe that you can change your reality, or if the opposite, if you believe you can't change your reality, being a realist is not necessarily a good thing if it doesn't help you.
Right.
You know?
I mean, you make up your own reality. Reality as such doesn't exist. So of course you're changing your reality all the time, because as you go along. I mean, so yeah.
Yeah. So you understand.
Yeah. So am I a realist? Yeah, of course. I mean, everyone's a realist because everyone's making up their own reality. It all depends on how you look at it.